Hi, everybody. I'm Jen. I'm one of the mentors here on the app, and I am coming to you live today from the floor of my bedroom because we just got home from a short, quickie trip to a family wedding, and every single space in my house is a messy backdrop today, so here we are. And I want to talk about ending the school year. So we've had a lot of questions lately. Of course, it's May. Happy May. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I'm from California, where that's a real holiday. Here, where I live now, it's like seriously just a taco night. But that's okay. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Happy May. End of the school year. And we've had a lot of questions about ending the school year. Do we hold out till the end of the curriculum? Do we just call it because OMG, we are all so done? What if they forget stuff? How do I know how we did? So let's talk just a little bit about this. Number one, how do we know when we're done? Well, sometimes you know you're done because you finished week 36 in your instructor's guide and you've read every book that came in your box day boxes, and you've finished every page of handwriting and language arts and science and math, and there's nothing left to do. And so you know you're done. Some years that happens, and that's great. Excellent job. Enjoy your summer. Sometimes we don't quite finish everything, and yet everybody in the house, the kids, the mom, the dog, everybody is so completely done. There's really nothing productive left to be had, even if we keep going. And I am here to tell you, it's okay to just stop. It's okay, just like in any given day when, say my 12-year-old was crying to the point that no algebra was going to be learned. It's okay to just stop. If you can see that everything is a battle when it didn't used to be, and everybody is exhausted, and it just doesn't feel like there's any learning going on, it's okay to just stop. The curriculum will be there. We will pick it back up in a week, a month, the fall, whatever. It's okay. I will tell you, I've been homeschooling for over 20 years. We've had years that ended each of those ways. Sometimes we finish it all and we feel great about it. And other years I'm like, we fulfilled all of our requirements and now we need a break. So what do I have to do to wrap up the school year? Okay, so lots of things don't have to be wrapped up. You don't have to read every single reader or read aloud. If you hand a book to a kid over the summer, they can read it without analyzing it, without answering questions. That's okay. Even some of those history spines are really fun for kids to look at when they're not like having to read it every day. Are there things that need to be finished for next year to start well? This is particularly relevant in older kids. If we're going to do Spanish 2 next year, we really need to finish up the major parts of Spanish 1 this year. If we're finishing up pre-algebra, then you need to hit the major things before you can start algebra in the fall. That doesn't mean you need to have every single thing. A lot of those one math class to another, they're going to have repeats in them. But like, you should have done some graphing in pre-algebra to be ready to start algebra 1 in the fall. If there's nothing glaring like that, if it's just, we didn't get to every writing assignment, or we didn't finish the handwriting book, or we're only halfway through the math book we're in, and so we can just start where we left off, that's completely fine. Just start where you left off. Another question that we all have is, what if they forget? What if we take a summer break and then that summer slide happens? What if they forget? So this week there was just another mentor video on summer slide. So I'm not going to hit preventing summer slide extensively, but I am here to tell you they might forget some stuff. We might need to be reminded at the beginning of the year how to do whatever the long division or adding fractions or whatever. It might happen. I have taught math enough years to know that it happens to me. Even things from like the beginning of the year to the end of the year. Our math book will review, and my kid and I sit there and look at each other like, was that this year? Oh yeah, that was way at the beginning. And we have to look it up. And then but here's the magic. Once you've done it once, so if you're finishing 4th grade and you have done 4th grade math and you're finishing up and you're worried about summer slide, and then you start in the fall and it's all, remember adding fractions, whatever the topic is, it doesn't matter. And neither one of you can remember how to do it. You can look it up. You can Google it. You can look in the instructor's guide. You can look in last year's instructor's guide. It's in there. And having conquered it once, when you have to go back and look at it again, it doesn't take the same amount of work. You look at it, you go, oh, yeah. And then you remember and move on. And even if it takes a little bit more than that, it's okay. That's why spiral style teaching like Sonlight Language Arts works, because when you've seen it once, then when you see it again, it's that much easier. So that might happen, but do not panic. Watch the Preventing Summer Slide video and do what you can, and then don't agonize about it. Okay, so the end of every year, before I put my brain in summer mom mode instead of homeschool teacher mode, I like to do a little brain dump. And that is real quick. What went well this year? We finished our Explode the Code books. We did 80% of the science experiments, and most of them worked. That's always my favorite, is when the science experiments work. We read every single read aloud, whatever your grand accomplishments were. Good job being the mom. Then the next question I ask myself is, what did we not accomplish that I wanted to? And whatever that is, that gets to be the priority for next year. So if I feel like my kid wrote a lot of language arts assignments, but we didn't always go back and edit and refine, and that's on my mind, I'm going to make sure we do that next year. Even if we write fewer papers, if we write and then go back and edit and make a final draft, that's something I know we need to do next year. Or if I feel like, we did some handwriting, but I don't know, her handwriting is not better. I'm sure that never happens to your children. It's just a, theoretical example from my house. Then next year, we're going to concentrate on that a little bit more. Not just doing things, but doing things in such a way that they're all, all legible and whatever. So whatever you feel like, oh, maybe we didn't quite get to every single thing I wanted to, that goes on the priority list for next year. And then the last thing I do is flip through their work. Just pick up a math book, phonics, handwriting, their completed language arts assignment, binder, whatever. And look, here was the math that was hard in the beginning of the year, back in the fall. And here's the math we're doing now. Oh my gosh, we made so much progress. Or here's what I thought was a really good paper in the fall from week 3. And then you look at week 33 and you see so much progress. And I want that to be in your heart before you go into summer mode. I want you to see how much progress you've made, because it's a lot. It's more than you're thinking. Because as moms, we're all about what do I need to be doing? What am I failing at? What else could I be doing? What's the next thing? And we don't always stop and look at what has actually been accomplished? What have we done right? What's gone really well? And so take a moment before you switch into summer mode and look at the progress that you've made, because I think you're going to be actually really impressed. Okay, And then the last thing I want to talk about, because the questions are all about, can I stop without finishing? The kids are obviously tired. I'm tired. The weather's nice. It's time to switch, but like, we're not quite done. Can I switch? I mean, sometimes it's worth it to just slog through and finish. Sometimes it's like, just put it down, put the pencils down, put the books down, go dig in the dirt, come back in the fall. That answer will vary. And so that's really up to you to decide for your family. But I want to remind you of the value of rest, not just every day, like when we go to bed at night, but every year in our school year. It's worthwhile to take a break. Some people take, like school year round and take a break every 6 weeks. Some of us take a long Christmas break and a long summer break. However you do it that's perfect, because if it works for you, then that's the right answer. But do not question the value of taking a break and resting when it is time. Especially if everybody is crabby about things that used to be really easy and really happy, and now there's tears and arguing and sass. Like I said, I'm sure your children never do tears and arguing and sass. I've just heard it happens to some people. But sometimes that's a sign that what we're ready for is rest. And rest is as valuable as everything else. So, read some fun books over the summer. My kids like to go to the library and sometimes get books that are well beneath their reading level that they just read for fun, just because they're like, I don't know, easy and interesting. And so there's value in that. There's value in getting outside and playing like it's your job, doing art or crafts or whatever we don't always have time for when we're busy filling our days with the everyday of the school year. If we can rest and do some of those things over the summer, then we can come back rejuvenated and ready for the next school year, because there is a season for everything. So I would like to say, great job this year. I hope that you loved Sonlight. If you have questions about choosing curriculum for next year, please come to the app and ask. We would love to help you. You will not be surprised to know that, those of us who are mentors really groove on things like picking curriculum. We think that's fun. So feel free to ask all the questions, and, we'll rest over the summer and end our year strong, and then be ready to go when it's time to start up again. So happy Cinco de Mayo, y'all, and I will talk to you soon.